Hello, welcome to our 2 Cents podcast. This is Denny.
And this is Shauna.
Welcome to our first
Episode.
Well, is it our intro or episode?
It's our first episode.
Our official.
Intro.
Okay.
Yeah, our intro episode. So maybe a little bit shorter, but we just wanted to do like a quick intro episode for our podcast and just kind of talk about, which I'm sure you've heard other places, but we just want to talk about again, like how we got into the industry and our background and etc. So, Denny, how did you get into the industry?
Listen to Cameron Ford's podcast. Not kidding.
Go listen to that. She's not saying it again.
No, I'm not repeating myself. No. Well, I got into, like, generally, or...
Yeah, go in depth. Like, how many years ago? What got you interested? Who got you into it?
Yeah. So I think a lot of people already know my story kind of from, like, listening to Cameron, but, yeah, I got my first working breed 7 years ago, and, like, long story short, I kind of just didn't really know what to do with her energy. I wouldn't say she was, like, high drive. Like I said, I say this all the time. Like, even now, you know, like, her. Like, how would you describe her?
She's high energy.
Yeah, she's a high energy dog.
High energy.
And she does, like, she has drive, but
she likes the ball, but it's more, like, energetic ball drive. It's not, like, give me the ball, I need it.
Yeah, it's not no possession at all.
Yeah.
Right. And she'll, like, chase other dogs with their ball in their mouth. It's like...
Yeah, or, like, drop hers and just go play.
Right, exactly. But anyway, I mean, for... I would say for an average pet owner, she still has too much energy. I mean, she's 7.5 and she still acts like a puppy.
Yeah. Very energetic.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I just kind of like Googled things online to see like what kind of exercises I could do with her. And Pete Stevens is like a guy that came up in the Google search, and I saw he was local to me in San Diego, and I reached out to him, and he told me he does nose work, you know, classes and stuff like that. And then I didn't really think anything of it. I went and did like a little eval with him in Oakley, and then I learned that he was an operational handler for the police department in San Diego. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then he did like a little like, you know, eval, and kind of said the same thing. Like, she's not your typical Malinois Shepherd, you know. She's energetic. She's got a nice prey drive, but not like...
Nothing crazy.
No, nothing crazy.
Like she needs a job.
Yeah, and absolutely no hunt. Like, her hunt drive is like, it's fine, but it's not like...
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like it's an operational, like, you know, hunt drive.
For sure. Yeah.
You know, maybe she could probably like fake it. Like,
yeah, which I think is also is a good point to mention. Like, people that make dogs do what they don't want to do.
Right.
Just because they have a little bit, and then they like push them to do like a job that they don't want to do or that they hate.
Yeah.
Or it's just, so it's like admirable for you to see you have a dog like that and be like, you know, she likes it, but she doesn't love it. I'm not going to make it her, like, full-time job. I'm not going to make it her work. Just something for fun.
But also, like, don't you agree, like, if I really wanted to, I could certify her and then, like, have her and...
In the way that industry is, yes.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily mean, like, I'm going to have to, you know, do a line of cars, right?
Exactly.
I could use her for a deterrent, and she's certified because... You know, as
this owner.
Yeah. Like, because she could do it. She was doing scent work. She was doing nose work, but, like, what's to say she couldn't do a different odor? Like, she can still do a firearms detection dog.
Yeah.
And it's not like, okay, it's just, like, the title of it, right? Like, oh, she's a firearms detection dog. But, like, is she really going to go into schools and do, like, searches? Yeah.
And, like, you're going to trust her and, like,
no,
not get
not.
distracted. And, like, yeah.
Yeah. And her environmentals are not good at all. But, like... And everyone's like, oh, you're being a bully. But it's like, no, we have a higher standard for operational dogs.
And it's just, like, it's not even, like... I mean, it's a standard, but it's also, like, an ethical thing to me. Like, if you're having to make a dog, like do something or, like, work so hard to get a dog to do... Like, it should be a desire. Like, it should be a want that they want to do it. You shouldn't have to be coaxing them into doing something. Like,
yeah, and what am I going to, like, every 5 feet
and you do
reward
see that.
her?
Yeah, you do see that in the industry where it's, you know, you see dogs that are just, like... They're getting drug around a car to search a car. Like,
yes, and it's just so cringy.
They're not searching. They don't want to be there. Like, you know, if you want to do some work with them, fine. But it's like, it's it's very muddy, like the line and like the standard.
Yeah, because a certification, like you can rest your dog for 3-4 days and then it's gonna look good, right? Because it's just really a training day.
It's not an endurance thing. They're not some certs, but most certs are not, testing endurance. They're not doing all of those things. And you can, a lot of certs, you can take a break in between. You can be like, hey, let me go get my dog some water. Like, which is arguable if, I don't know.
Yeah,
but we'll talk about this in like other episodes.
Yeah, because I can get into it so much.
The standards of like,
and just like I feel like a lot of like I get so many people DMing me like, I'm certifying my dog on narcotics. I'm like, it's like, okay, that's like the first step.
Yeah, no, and that's something that like my boss in Utah, Brandon, says. Like, he's like, just because you cert with us doesn't mean you're gonna like work for me.
Yeah,
that's the first step. Like, some dogs wash out after certing because they don't want to work.
They don't have the endurance.
40 hours a week. They don't want to.
Not every dog.
A cert is fun. It's fun for
you're gonna get
hours.
paid.
You're gonna get paid. La la la. Yeah. It's so fun. And then it's like, it's not work.
It's more harder for us because it's stress. But if you take the stress away of us, it's easy
fun.
As hell.
Yeah.
For the dog.
For sure.
Like, we've done way harder things. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. And I started with Oakley, just like doing like sports stuff. And then COVID kind of hit. So we were supposed to do trials, but then we didn't do them because everything was literally shut down. Yeah. So I kind of put a hold on things for a little bit. And then when things were like opening back up, Pete kind of like reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to like train with him again. And we continued to train, and I would, shadow him in different like training classes, not necessarily just hours, because like we had a training class, but there would be like different people in there too, and then like let's say it would be like a 12:30 class, and then like 1:30 or like 2:30, whatever. But it was just like on the weekends. It was like a fun thing that like a little outlet to do with Oakley. Yeah. And he always told me that she wouldn't be like an operational dog, whatever. And
which
like,
is good of him to like.
Oh, he was always so.
Because I feel like some trainers also just want like
the money
of people coming and training with them with their dog, even though they know, the first few sessions they can kind of tell like if the dog has what it takes or not, but. They're like, oh yeah, you can do it.
And honestly, like looking back, I would always get a little bit like butthurt about it, because I'm like, what do you mean my dog's not good at this? Because like in my eyes, I'm
you
like,
don't seem like that now. Like,
no, because I had nothing to compare it to.
Obviously, it was a long time ago, but yeah, exactly.
But also, like, okay, so when I put reels at Tanner, remember I was like, oh, like hating me is valid because I probably told you my Labrador has more drive than your Malinois. I'm not talking about a standard well-bred Malinois that's like, to be that, like, let's say like a special ops operational dog. Like, of course it's going to have more drive than my Labrador. That's what it's bred for.
Yeah.
But like generally now, like Malinois are not bred what they used to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And people get so caught up over it, like they're like, there's no way your Labrador has more drive than my Malinois, because this breed is like so blown out of the proportion. Like everyone thinks just because like, oh, because I have Oakley and she's a Malinois Shepherd, like then she is like the best dog in the entire world because she's that breed. But it's like, you have nothing, I had nothing to compare it to, right? So in my mind, the energy for me, I didn't know what energy versus drive was. I didn't know what drive versus arousal was. Like a lot of it is something that you learn with each dog that you have, you know what I mean? Like my first working dog ever, Linda, she was high drive. I wouldn't say she was high arousal though, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Like she had energy, but I wouldn't say her arousal was like as high as Tanner, which almost was like better because she would focus a little bit more clear-headed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she wasn't like a social dog, and she was, I would say, like I would label her like a little bit aggressive, like not like reactive, but actually aggressive.
Why don't you say like where Linda was from and what job you did with her? Because you kind of like she was from Holland, and she was from one of the companies that I worked for the first time that Pete kind of like connected me to. Your first job after you got into it with Oakley.
Yes.
Your first job doing
cargo.
Where?
In San Diego was like what it was based out of, but our first job was in LA. Okay. So it was like LAX mainly that we did that job.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was
your bomb dog.
Yeah, she was my bomb dog. First company dog, yeah.
Yeah.
Hers was cute.
Yeah. You show me pictures. She
Yeah.
looks cute.
Yeah.
And then after her, kind of like what happened?
I was
after
kind of
that?
like just over everything because I was like, you know, it was like
Cargo.
a new company.
How long did you work cargo?
It was like a year, I'd
Okay.
say. At that point, you get really attached to the dog, and also like I worked through so much stuff with her, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
reactivity and like the aggression and stuff like that. Like she was great. Like everyone could pet her to the point where I had her and stuff like that. But obviously, like I couldn't keep her. She was too young, and they
Wanted her still.
Yeah, they were like, oh, you're not staying, then you can't have her. You know,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I was just kind of like over it because I originally told them that I wanted to work in San Diego, and that's what they promised me.
Yeah.
And that's where I got my apartment.
Yeah.
And I was paying like $1,800 a month to live there, but I was never there. They were always like putting me in LA. So like it was there like 6 days a week, living out of a motel, and I had a nice apartment in San Diego. Like it was just
so
like annoying, you know?
That's so annoying.
Yeah. So I kind of gave them an ultimatum, and I thought like I think that in their minds they're like, oh, she's so bonded to Linda, there's absolutely no way she's gonna make this change. Like we have her wrapped around her finger, like she's just gonna stay here forever, you know. And then something in me was like, no, I need to like just advocate for myself and my dog. Like obviously Oakley was kind of suffering, just like living out of a motel, not really having, you know, her like typical life, or like I would like try to like take her to the beach and all this stuff, and I couldn't because I was working 6 days a week, and those hours were like, I'm not kidding, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. So like when would I have the time to do anything with Oakley, you know? And then I remember like the guy that owned the company like brought me in for a meeting, and he was like, oh, you know, we have some concerns, like you can't bring Oakley to the site anymore unless she's like a working dog. And I'm like, well, what? Like what do you want me to do? He's like, well, you just gotta leave her in like the motel. I'm like, I'm not leaving my dog for 12 hours, like
No.
And I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna
motel.
Yeah, I was like, you know what, like if you guys can't change my location to San Diego, like I don't think I'm gonna be able to stay. And he's like, all right, well, let's talk about it. You know, starting Monday, please don't bring Oakley. And I was like, okay. I left, and then I called them as soon as I got home, and I was like, listen, where can I drop off Linda? And I think they were just like, what? Like, it wasn't even like a question in my mind. Like, I'm not waiting till Monday, and I'm not leaving my dog for 12 hours in a motel in LA.
Yeah.
You already know how ghetto that is. Like
no.
I remember taking Linda out for a walk, and there was like 15 cop cars. And I asked one of the police officers, like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, like, this place is awful. Like, this is just, like, where all the people come from, like, straight out of jail. Like, there's people that live here.
That's a hotel or
a motel
that your work put you in.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And he's like, and there's just, like, people that are, like, living here full time. And it's, like, there's bed bugs and, like, fleas. And, like, my dogs would consistently always get, like, fleas and stuff. So he was like, I don't know why he's like, I don't know who your boss is. He's like, but tell them to never put you up here again. He's like, it's just like not safe. And that kind of just like stuck with me. I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, why it was good money, but I'm like, I'm not doing this for money. And I loved Linda so much, but like I had to like look out for myself and Oakley, you know. I'm like, I'm kind of done with this. So I returned Linda that day. I had one of my friends, Melissa, come with me because I just couldn't do it. It was like so fucking hard, dude. Yeah. And like I just remember like giving him the leash, and I just didn't look back because I was like, I can't do it. But she was like scratching to come back. Yeah, I was like, dude, I could never get that like image out of my.
Like seen what other handler she's been with, or
yeah,
contact?
I saw her like a couple times. Like this one girl like made an Instagram for her, but then I think like someone ratted her out, and like she had to get rid of it or something. I don't know. Like
you don't know where she is.
That company, I do know she's a global now.
Oh.
Because the company that I worked for is completely like just.
Did when they sold out or something?
Yeah,
Kicks or whatever?
Kicks, yeah. And they gave some of their contracts to them, and then obviously some of the dogs went to them, you know?
Yeah.
So she's somewhere in global. I'm not really sure who has her now. So if Linda's out there, let us know.
Let us know.
So yeah, that's kind of how I got, and I went back. I kind of like, I think 2 months after I quit that job, I kind of gave myself just time to rest and moved back to the East Coast. And then
cargo's like tiring.
Yeah.
Here.
Exhausting. Yes. It's very different when you do it with your own dog, though. You take it way more personally because, like, you work. I mean, you know, you don't want to fuck up your dog.
There's more like emotion attached because you're like,
he's tired. You know, he needs a burger. But then I moved to the East Coast. I had a friend that connected me to a company which I will not be naming, but then I kind of just like did like, you know, contracts here and there with their company dogs. Like, remember I told you did some jail contracts with them and like just like some concerts and Eagles games.
Because at this point you had like handler experience and all
that.
Yeah,
and it was nice because like I didn't have to take a dog home.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of still getting that experience.
Yeah.
And putting, you know, something to put on my resume. And then I kind of decided, I was like, you know what? I got invited to do Coachella. I don't know if that was the year that you did it though.
No, when you just certified Tanner?
No, I didn't even have Tanner yet.
Oh, then no.
Okay, so it was the year before you did it. Yeah. And one of the girls was like, hey, would you be able to do it? And I'm like, well, I don't have a dog. And she's like, oh, shit. Okay, well, do you have any handlers? And I kind of like helped that company's daughter get into it. And then she like brought her boyfriend. And anyway, so she was like, do you think that you can stay at my boyfriend's house in North Carolina and take care of all the dogs like that aren't going? All the working dogs. I had like 15 working dogs. That I gained a lot of experience through that too, because it was like 15 working dogs. There was some that were like very not social. And you just say that like that was very humbling. But anyway, so I got Tanner like shipped there, like the company, or not the company, his breeder got like a transport over there, and that's kind of where I started with Tanner. And
you got him when he was 12 weeks?
Yeah, he was a fat boy.
And just a little chunky boy.
Yeah, this was very chunky boy.
Because he's so like lean now. He's so like...
Isn't that weird?
He's so muscular and like fit.
Yeah.
And like lean now. That's like, I see like videos and he was a puppy and he was just like this little potato.
I know. I was like a little concerned because I think so it took them... Funny. I know, because he's from Arkansas. How do you say it? Arkansas? Arkansas? Arkansas?
It's Arkansas.
Whatever. English is not my first language. So he was in the van. I think it took him like 3 or 4 days because they kind of take their time because it's puppies, it's far, you know? Yeah. So he just imagine how much movement he did in those 4 days. Nothing. They're just like feeding him kibble and like,
he's just like chomp,
4 days later
chomp.
he just
like,
looked like
on a few pounds.
Yeah, dude, he looked like a fat whale. But he like lost it like immediately because he was so busy.
Little chunky puppy.
Yeah, it was really cute. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into the
industry. Tanny. What was it like raising your own dog versus having a company dog?
Oh, I loved it. I would do it over and over and over again. It's like such a fun experience. Yes.
Yeah.
I just feel like you don't have to worry about that like handler bond because it's like
it's automatically there.
It's automatically there. Obviously, I've had some issues with Tanner, like that you know of, you know, when he was like 15 months old, that I definitely would have done things differently now because I've never had a dog with that much arousal, and like I wasn't aware that like arousal can turn into like an aggression if you're not, you know, like if you're not like
doing things right,
managing it correctly, and like, you know, I did a lot of like drive building with him, and then it got to a point where I had to cap a lot of it, so. A lot of people were like, even here, they're like, oh, I thought this is going to be like this crazy explosive lab that comes out. You know, I'm like, nope. Like, I try to really like manage my own feelings and then his feelings too. Because like, if I'm too up, then he's too up and it could just like escalate. So I've tried to like, you know, manage that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been.
But even that, I feel like he like channels his drive still explosively. You know, like,
but it could be a lot crazier if I got to,
but then it could be just not productive if it's too
well. Yeah, you've seen him
crazy.
Today. Like there's gonna be times where he's like super focused, right? And then there's gonna be times where he's like, okay, I just want this ball and like I'm gonna do anything I can to get this ball, you know? And it's like, where's that fine line of like, okay, how do I cap this drive?
Or get him to think like, nope,
clearly.
This is how we're using this high motivation and this is how we're going to channel it to get it.
Yeah.
This is how you get what you want. It's not just a guessing. This is how you get what you want. But yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people are like, oh, he's a lab. So he's like, you know, blah, blah, blah. But like, he's
a different lab.
Still, like, he's very aggressive. Like, how many labs are... I mean, I feel like the working labs are,
I've
right?
met a few that walk by their crate in the car and they sound like a Malinois. I've met a few. Usually they've been black labs that I've met that are like that.
Yeah. I know a lot of, like, I know one of the handlers that has Otis. She has same thing. Like, she said he's not, like, a super social lab. Not, like, meeting Tanner and, like, seeing him around all the people. Like, what would you say? Like, is he social or is he...
He's neutral.
Right?
Like, he's not like if he doesn't have his ball, he doesn't see someone as, like, he doesn't see them as valuable, like, oh, let me go get a pet or engage. But, like, he does want to go up to people as a means of, like, throw my ball for me, you know? He's
exactly.
like, oh, come on, let's play with me, because he wants
interaction.
that. Yeah, but other than that, no, he's very neutral. You know?
Which is cool. I like that.
Yeah.
He doesn't get distracted easily, you know? Because that's one of the downfalls for labs, right?
Yeah. Like that I've seen with other labs, too.
Yeah, they, like, really want to, like, I feel like their reward is, like, pets from other people, and, like, you know, saying hi to people, which he's not, which is nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's it. How about you? How did you get into this?
I was just born and then just
wow. You and Sunny?
Yeah, so I was in the veterinary field first. So I went to vet nursing school and was into that for a while. And then I got Sani when I worked at a vet.
It's a puppy?
Yeah, she was 8 weeks old, 8.5 weeks old, from Virginia. She flew out here. And yeah, it was kind of like Did you have a plan for her? Like, no, that's the thing is, like, I didn't really have a plan. Like, when I got her, I had, like, just gone through, like, a really bad, like, breakup, like, 6 months before I got her, and I just, like, wanted, like, a change, and, like, I felt like I was done with school now, and I just wanted, like, my first dog, because I always grew up with family dogs. I grew up around hunting dogs, bird dogs. My mom's a bird dog trainer, and
so like, how did you get into, like, getting a Dutch Shepherd?
I know, right? I have no idea.
Yeah, but how did you even know what a Dutch Shepherd was?
I don't know. That's why I'm like, this was, like, divine and, like, meant to be.
You're
like,
so lucky,
like, God,
too.
like, planned this, because it's like, how did I get, like, such a good dog? Like, for
such
my
a good
first dog.
And especially for a Dutch Shepherd.
Yeah,
she's such a good dog.
That are hard to find, like, ones that aren't, like, reactive or, like,
or handler aggressive.
Or, like, crazy, like, too much, you know? And so
she is a lot, though.
She is a lot, but, like, like, in a, like, not in, like, a I feel ever unsafe way, you know? Like, never. She's a lot, like, chaotic, but, like, she's never, you know, she's never, like, I can't trust her around kids, like, none of that, you know? Like, it's like,
she'll probably boop them by just, like, by out of fun.
Yeah,
you know?
like,
not aggression.
She really is, like, such a once-in-a-lifetime, like, dog, especially for someone that, like, I didn't really do much research. Like, I grew up with hunting dogs, grew up around labs when I was really little. My dad did duck hunting with them and pheasant hunting, and then my mom is a bird dog trainer and has English pointers, and we grew up with Weimaraners and stuff. So, grew up around hunting dogs, but, yeah, I was, like, totally new to, like, the pointy-eared dogs,
That's
right?
so cool. Yeah.
And so, I don't remember even, like, where I saw a Malinois or a Dutch Shepherd first. Like, I don't even know. I knew some people that had German Shepherds, but I knew what Dutch Shepherds and Malinois were, but I was stuck between the two, right? I was looking to get a Malinois or a Dutch Shepherd. And then I just really liked their, like, brindle coat. I, like, didn't even really know that much about them. I just really liked their brindle coat. And literally, like, I picked a Sani, like, well, I told the breeder. I didn't really do much research. Just knew that, like, it would be a dog that I could kind of do anything with, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like, just active, pet, or, like, I just didn't know. So I, like, didn't really do a ton of research, but settled on a breeder in Virginia. And Cavalier Canine is where she's from, super awesome breeder. And she, I basically was like, I want a female, and I want, like, the darkest, like, brindle coat. Like, literally, I didn't say anything about drive. I said nothing about temperament, like, because I had no idea. And, like, I literally, like,
what's her line? So kind of like Dutch.
She has KMPV lines. Yeah, so she has,
so that could have really went the other way.
Yeah. So she has Boris is a pretty well known. That's her, like, uncle. So her dad's DeJaco, and that comes from, he's from DeJango Summers, which is another, like, well-known stud dog in KMPV lines, and mom is DeJaco from Ivo 3 lines, which is also a well-known one. But anyways, yeah, just, like, also KMPV lines where it's, like, a little bit more, like.
So did you know all this though prior?
Nope.
You kind of, like,
the breeder told me the names, so I had no idea what it
you're like,
meant.
yeah, cool.
I'm like, cool, PH1, I don't know what that is, but cool.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Like, what?
Sign me up.
Yeah, both their parents are PH1 dogs from Holland, and yeah, that's why the more I think about it, I'm like, it was like so divine, because it was like I had no idea. I picked her based on gender and coat color. I told the breeder that's what I wanted, just a female and the darkest brindle. She picked, that was the only one that was like the darkest female in the litter, and that's what she picked her based off of, and then sent her to me. And then the more like I almost like rehomed her a few times, just because I had no
Seriously?
idea. Well, I had no idea what I was doing.
Well,
she was
why?
like a lot. She was just a lot.
Yeah.
Like, because I was used to like.
But I feel like working hunting
They are,
wise,
but they're different. They are.
But they're more like outdoors.
And they're outdoors.
Yeah.
We had outdoor kennels.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't.
You weren't living
our
with them.
Weimaraners and like our older dogs, like our older pointers would like live inside sometimes. But
Yeah.
like, they were inside a lot, but like after they were already trained and like they weren't like crazy, like they were in kennels outside sometimes, you know? It's like they weren't really, I wasn't really living with them like a young puppy would, you know? So yeah, I just like, I didn't really know what I was doing. And so I started reaching out to like IGP people and like bite work people, and started like getting into like bite work with her.
How old was she when you started?
Like 10 months, almost a year is when she like really did any bite work or anything. And then I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. And so I like got into like PSA with her first.
Cool.
And then I went to, when she was like 2 years old, I went to South Africa for the first time and volunteered with, it's called Global Conservation Force. And they have a few reserves where they do work with anti-poaching and the canine units and all that stuff. And so I got to go like volunteer there and like...
Did you bring Asani?
No, it's too hard to get dogs into there. So
yeah.
No, I left her, but anyways, I got really involved with like how they use dogs for anti-poaching and like the detection dogs and the tracking dogs, and most of their dogs are Dutch Shepherds and Malinois, and I just really fell in love with like detection there. It was like really the place that I fell in love with it. So I came back home to the States and was like, I want to get into detection with my dog. And so there was a local police trainer in Utah that I started taking scent classes from.
That's kind of funny that we're both similarly.
Yeah, and so did that with Asani, and like I wanted to do like, because of like the anti-poaching stuff, I was like, well, they did like firearms with their dogs over there. I was like, I want to do like guns, like firearms, ammunition with Asani. And then the trainer was kind of like, well, just actually do explosives. Like I have explosives, so like let's put her on explosives.
That's kind of cool.
And so I was like, okay. I was just like kind of like, I didn't know anything about imprinting. I didn't know anything about building a hunt drive. Like I knew nothing. I just went to this trainer for like, you know, two days out of the week for like probably 6 months. Like I went for a long time and just shadowed other people, shadowed other trainers, like other people working their detection dogs, because he had classes, and did that for a long time. And then got into wildlife detection, and wildlife detection is the first like actual paid job that I was doing.
With Asani?
Yes. Yeah. So I kind of like veered into doing wildlife detection. I was gonna like just do that with her, and that was my first job, doing wildlife detection in the Midwest.
Is that the company that you're working for now?
Yeah.
So how old was she when you first started that job?
She was 2 or 3.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'd been doing detection like classes and like for like a year, 6 months to a year. And then I just started like applying for jobs, just trying to see like, and got like denied for like quite a few of them, because I had no experience, you know, like it's hard to like finally get your foot in the door, but like when you do get your foot in the door, I feel like a lot of things like unfold. So
totally.
So I started doing the wildlife detection stuff and like fell in love with that stuff, and with that company, and then that's seasonal usually. So I came home and from that job, and I was kind of like gonna be like, oh, I'm not really gonna do explosives anymore, like I'm gonna like just do this. But then it was seasonal, and so I had a trainer that I went and saw in Vegas, and he was like she's a really good dog, like she was
pretty like not old but older.
She was older, yeah,
for the first like certification.
Yeah. So she was like, she was older, wasn't didn't start any of this like as a puppy, and so I was kind of like going away from the explosive side, and then there was a trainer in Vegas that I was working with, he was like, she's a really good dog. Like, you should try to certify her again. Like, because I had tried earlier and failed. It was through Drug Beat in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so we had failed the first time we ever tried, which I think is also important to know that does happen.
Mm-hmm.
So we failed our first cert, and then I was kind of moving away from that and just wanted to do wildlife detection. And then,
were you like a little discouraged because you failed?
Yeah, for sure. I was like very discouraged. I was like crying like on my way home, like driving, like it was very, and so. Anyways, I got done with the wildlife detection job, like my first actual detection job, which was amazing and an amazing experience. And then I, was training with that trainer again in Vegas, and he was like, you should try to certify her again. Like, she's, I think she's she could make a really good bomb dog. Like, you should try again. And so I was like, okay. And so I tried again, and I feel like I kind of remember you guys. She killed it. Yeah, she did so good. She killed it. And we got certified, and then I started working for Brandon with High Definition Canine in Utah.
How did you get into working for him?
So I actually knew him before I ever did detection. He was at the first facility that I went to do bite work when Asani was 10, 11 months old.
That's funny.
He was working dogs there. It was at Harrisville Working Dogs in Utah, and he was doing decoy stuff there, and he was working dogs there. And then that's how I met him, and he was just starting his detection company on all that stuff and getting going. And so that's how I knew him. Yeah, he's known Asani since she was really, really young.
That's cool.
And so. And then, I got into detection later, and then we happened to know each other, and, he knew Asani, he trusted her, he always really liked her, and so it was I'd love for you to come work for me, and so, that's kind of
she's a poster child for Dutch Shepherds.
Yeah. And so, started working for him, and then did, did a few first jobs, and then, did, our first, really big job, which was Coachella, which was also kind of crazy to do for your first job, which
that is wild.
Which it was a lot, but Asani was amazing, so good. I mean, even things with Mano that I've had to ease him into operational work because it's a lot of blank searches. It's a lot. It's so many cars that they never find anything. It's so many buildings. They don't find anything. It was like Asani, I think she has more of a drive to work for me, whereas Mano's very selfish. He works for himself, which is fine. Reward. Yeah, which is fine, whatever. But it's just a different motivating factor. I have to know how to motivate. I have to know how to utilize his motivation more. Whereas Asani, our bond is so much deeper that her drive to work for me, she'll do until she dies. She'll work whether she thinks nothing, I'm her motivator, me asking her to work is her motivator. She could know there's absolutely nothing there and never find anything for weeks, but she just will keep going because I'm asking her to, and it's just it's so special, and it's so different. And so
what do you think, how do you feel, what was your first I guess, how did you feel about your first job? Were you nervous? What did you guys do in Coachella? Did you guys do
we were mostly at checkpoints checking cars.
Okay.
Yep, mostly, and some checkpoints.
And it's hot. I don't know if people know, but Coachella is what was it, 100 something degrees out?
Yeah, some days, and we worked a lot of night shifts.
Which is nice.
So maybe we'd get there at 6. So the first few hours would be really hot, but then the rest was the sun had gone down and cooler, so it's very dusty too. Sometimes the dogs had to wear goggles because the dust is getting in their eyes. It's so windy, it's so dusty.
Oh yeah.
But they're still expected to sniff, and use their nose and all of that. And most of them were checkpoints.
Is there a point there where I'm gonna ruin my dog?
No. With her, it could have been obvious. Also, it could have been I was just so naive that I didn't know what would ruin a dog. Yeah. I think some of it could have been that. Now I would be more cautious. I'd be with Mano, because I know more, I would be more cautious. But I think she's just also a unicorn dog. Whereas And I was naive back then where, like, I didn't really know what would ruin a dog.
Also,
it was just, like, I just keep asking my dog to work, and she keeps going. She's found nothing for days, but, like, she just keeps going because I'm asking her to. And I didn't know that wasn't normal until I started working Mano and, like, other dogs, and I started working other dogs, seeing other dogs. I got other dogs. I didn't know that wasn't, like, normal. You know?
And you, like, mentioned before that Sani kind of, like, she'll, like, feed off your energy, right? So if, like, you're stressed, she might be stressed.
Yeah.
But if you're, like, naive and you don't really know.
Yeah, exactly.
She's kind of like,
she's
oh,
mirroring
this is fine.
that. She mirrors me, like, in, so many ways of my life. Like, not even, like, work. But
which is kind of, like, a good thing that you were naive.
Yeah. And it's, yeah. She's just, I think.
Yeah, I remember my first job with Tanner. We got flown out to... our first official job was a Hamilton contract.
Yeah.
And it was just, like, filling in for a handler. And it was supposed to be 2 weeks, but I already, like, booked another job, which I don't want to say no. You know, because it's, like, your first job. Like, oh, my gosh. Which, looking back at it now, I wish I just, like, had the 2 weeks for Hamilton versus, like, the first week and then
for sure
go on a plane and, like, go to Georgia. But I was like, I really wanted to do that with him. Like, I really wanted to do the Hamilton, which was, like, good, you know. But then I was like, I really want to take him on the airplane and see how he does on the airplane and kind of just, like, expose him to that because he was only, like, 12 months old, you know, when he certified and had his first job. Yeah. But it was, like, such a hard job because it was monster trucks, and there was, like, thousands of trucks that we had to go, and they were just, like, lined up, and they were supposed to turn their, like, engine off, but they were running the whole time. And it was, like...
Which is how it is.
It was hot. It was humid, and I felt, like, a lot of pressure because he was the youngest dog, and, like... For some reason, the guy's like, well, he's, like, freshly out of training.
Think that, like, he should have all this energy. Yeah. You're like, well, he just started working.
Yeah, it was, like, his first job, like, his first official, like, lineup where he's, like, thousands of cars. Like, that's a lot. Like, looking back now, I'm like... And I did advocate for him a lot. Like, I put him in the kennel and stuff. I remember his, like, little nose would be, like, black from, like, all the dust.
Yeah, and, like, I think you had the advantage of, like... being, like, not as naive as me, you know, because you had worked operationally before with company dogs and, like, other dogs. And, like, it's very different when you have a company dog. Not that you don't care as much, but it's just you're not as aware. Like, I think you're, like, ethically, you are the same, but it's, like, you get more emotional and, like, sensitive. Like, when it's your own. When your own dog is probably fine, but you're like, oh, wait, maybe they're not. Wait. You start to question more, I think. You know, not that you treat them different, but you start to probably get more, like, worried. Like, are they okay? Yeah. You know? Because at the end of the day, like, it's still our dog. Like, it's not just, like, a, you know, company tool. And I'm not saying, like, all companies are like that, but a lot of them are, like when Linda was in heat and we were doing cargo, it was, like, a very high-drive dog that wanted to go. But in her heat, totally shut down. Really? Crying. Yeah, and, like, Oakley was... intact, and I've never heard her cry ever. Nobody's ever done that either. No, she's probably hurts for some dogs. But then, like, I googled it, and I guess some dogs have cramps. They get cramps, yeah, they do, which I didn't know. Yeah. So I would, like, let my boss know, like, hey, like, I can't get Linda out, and this is a dog that would, like, burst out of her kennel. You know? And she's just laying down, and I'm literally dragging her out. Like, how unethical does that feel? Yeah. You know, he's like, oh, she's fine, just give her a break. And she'll just fake it till you make it. And I'm like, what? Like, we're all wearing, like, cameras, like, TSA's watching us, like, they're putting out heights, like, you know, like, they're just like, you can't do that. You can't do that. And I'm just like, that pissed me off. And I was like, just like a lot of things at once, I think, that, like, little different things where I'm just like, okay, I'm really done with this company. And, like, made, like, mental notes of, like, I don't want to work with this kind of stuff anymore. Yeah. And I'd like to advocate more for my own dog. So, like, having your own dog, like, is a luxury of, like, if something happens to them, that your boss can't be like, well, it's fine, just, like, walk it off. Because your own dog. Yeah, you're going to make those decisions. Exactly. So. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Definitely. Yeah, but, that's how I got into it, and I've done some, like, obviously continuing education things. I went back to South Africa again to work with someone that I had met over there before, worked some detection dogs, and then did a course. I went with Asani to Europe. We went to Holland and did a course with Scent Imprint for Dogs with Wesley Vischer, which super brilliant detection guy. I actually learned a lot of, like, my foundational stuff from him, which is what I like because, you know, you kind of, like, learn things from different trainers and pick and choose, like, what you want to, like, continue to use, what you like, what you don't like. And, like, a lot of, like, his foundational stuff, like, is what I use and is what I like. So learned a lot from him and from the trainers over there. And that was really cool to, like, go over there and do that with her. And then, yeah, just working for the same explosives company, and kind of all over, mostly in Utah, but kind of all over. And then same wildlife detection company. I kind of like, because that one's seasonal, kind of like, I've had the luxury to switch off with those. And it's nice to have, like, Mano now and have 2 dogs. So it's not just, because we've talked about this also, like, the workload for one dog is, like, a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
like I need to start looking.
You feel that with Tanner. It's like, it's a lot to ask for one dog. Like, and that's why, like, this is, like, nice for me to give Asani, you know, a break right now and kind of let Mano
take the lead a little bit.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, she still has a lot. Like, she's 6, but, like, I don't want to. I'm kind of at a point now where, like, I want to start, like, only working her part-time. Yeah. Like, I want to work her part-time and, like, give her more of a break so she can, you know, it's like she would work to death, but, like, of course, why would I do that, you know? So it's just nice, and I kind of wish that I got 2 dogs sooner, because sometimes I do feel like I burned her out too much and too long, like, I did it too long, where it's like years of full-time work and, like, she didn't really have a break, and it's like now she's getting one, which is great, but it's kind of like, it's just something you learn, you know? Like, I wish I would have got a second dog sooner, but it's really nice to have 2 dogs.
It's cool to have, like, 2 bum dogs. I think that's, like, I need to start kind of, like, thinking about the same thing of, like, not like retiring Tanner,
but
like,
I think it's not even about retiring. It's like giving him, like, having a second dog to, like, trade off, and I think that just adds, like, it just gives them more like working years. I think it just, I don't know, I think it just gives them more gas in the tank, and not, like, they're not burnt out by 4 or 5 years old. They're still like going at, like, 7 and 8, and they're still.
Yeah, because I think both of us have been pretty lucky to have full-time positions with our dogs, even if it's not, like, consistent, let's say, but, like, we're pretty, like, lucky to have this opportunity.
Yeah, and that's something else that we've talked about. Like, we feel like
we don't want to be ungrateful, and, like,
I know, I feel, like, obligated to overwork my dog. I feel obligated to, like, burn them out almost, because it's like, well,
we have
other people want,
right? That we want to, like, upkeep.
We have a standard, and, like, other people want opportunities, and, like, we have opportunities, so it's like, well, I have to overwork my dog. I have to do this. So it's like, no, you don't. But having 2 dogs, I think definitely, it makes you feel better.
It's also different because, like, this is our only job. There's a lot of people that might be
a handler that have other jobs.
Yeah. Like, they're working from home.
I think that's usually how it is a lot.
Literally, yeah. Like, they're, like, they have a career, and, like, they'll get a call, and, like, okay, well, I'm going to take some time off my other job, and then I'm going to do this job, right? Because, to be honest, like, this isn't a career people are going to be comfortable, like, making money. Like, you're not going to be comfortable unless you are busy, like, which is not common. Exactly. You really have to, like, make those relationships and build them. I think it's, like, kind of, like, ridiculous well, I'm sure it's just, like, people just don't know, right? But, like, DMing us, like, hey, like, I have, like, a bomb dog, like, and I want to do what you and Tanner do, and it's like, okay, that's
it's taken
great.
a long time, and a lot of it is connections. Like, you have to, it's not just like a job you look up on Indeed.
No.
You know,
I mean, you can,
but no, usually it's
going to be like those jobs where you're not going to grow.
Usually to get consistent work,
because, like, global,
it's not.
No offense, but global handlers, like, everyone hires global handlers. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, and you're not. It's going to be very hard for you to grow, right? Because
and
what's the standard there?
Yeah, like, within that, and it's like, that's more of, like, a, I think, like, a tied down kind of a thing, whereas, like, I feel like we have a lot more freedom and flexibility with our own dogs, and, like, doing what jobs we want, what jobs we don't, moving where we want, traveling where we want. We can literally, like, at our age, like, go wherever, do whatever we want.
Get to see whatever we want. We don't have to be
exactly.
at one,
so I
like,
think,
warehouse and, like, doing the same thing over again. Because, like, you're not growing there either.
Yeah, and while you can get jobs like that, like, some people can get jobs like that, like, to have, like, as much, like, freedom as you want, or, like, what we get to do is, like, that takes years to, like, build that up, and it's not just
and, like,
given.
I would never know Cameron Ford if it wasn't for Pete, and, like, if I didn't have this good relationship with Pete, and if he didn't see my drive and, like, my passion for this, like, he wouldn't put in a good word for me, right? And, like, it's all, like, a full circle.
For sure. And same thing, like, I mean, you're the one who kind of introduced me to Cameron, then. You were, like, put in a word for me, because you didn't really know who I was, you know, until you. So it's, like, that's also, like, a connection that, like, I'm grateful for, you know? It's all, like, about connections, which is good and bad, I think, which we could talk about also. It's also good and bad.
Yes. But all right, well, let's try and end this, because we have to go check on our dogs. It's hot and they're in their kennels.
Yes. Until next time.
Thanks for tuning in.